Hey Deer Valley, it's Miss Katie Jane from the Hoover Library. I have some exciting news. Your school librarian, Mrs. Lieber, let me help her pick out the books for your Barnes & Noble book fair, which is coming very, very soon. And she's asked me to do a few little book talks so that you'll know some of the great titles even before your book fair starts. Now I'm going to warn you ahead of time. Technology is not being my friend today. That means if I mess up in this book talk, guess what? I just mess up. Just ignore it. Or laugh at me, and then let's move on. Alright, let's start with some picture books. Now I know some of you think you're too old for picture books, but even I'm not too old for picture books, so you just put that notion right out of your head. The first one is Count the Monkeys by Mac Barnett. I love this book, even though there's actually not a lot of monkeys in it. It says count the monkeys, but instead you have to count the mongoose, or is it geese, or mongooses, whatever. And even little old lady beekeepers, and even stinky rhinoceroses. There's all sorts of stuff to count in this one. Turn the page to find out what it is when you Count the Monkeys by Mac Barnett. Alright, now that's just one picture book. I actually have another one. It is called, wait for it, boom! How Martha Saved Her Parents from Green Beans. That's right, people. Green beans are even more dangerous than you suspected in David La Rochelle's new book. It's about a girl who doesn't like green beans, doesn't eat them. Her parents are always making her eat them. She says, poo-poo, I will never eat green beans. Well, then instead, all of a sudden, she's not eating them. She's fighting them. Green beans have come and taken her parents. All of a sudden, her dislike of green beans goes to the next level. Find out what happens when you read How Martha Saved Her Parents from Green Beans. All right, we got one more, except I don't actually have the book, because it is still checked out, and they won't turn it in because they love it so much. So I printed a picture. It is called Not Your Typical Dragon, and it is by Dan Barrell. Now, dragons, as you may have heard, usually are fire-breathing. That's what we hear all the time, fire-breathing dragons. Well, in this book, Crispin, when he turns 7 and should be able to start breathing fire, instead he breathes bubbles and balloons, and teddy bears, and band-aids, and basically everything but fire. And even though he's upset about it at first, he quickly learns that it takes all kinds of dragons to make this world go round. Find out how this guy is not your typical dragon. Read this book. Alright, we're done with the picture books now. Now we're moving on to chapter books. Now these chapter books are perfect for if you're not quite reading chapter books, your parents can read them to you. If you're starting off reading chapter books, they're good. If you're way past starting chapter books, but you want to pick up something really fast, it's going to be good for you too. So let's go ahead and get started. This series is called Blast to the Past, and this is the first one in the series. It's called Lincoln's Legacy. Have any of you guys ever heard of Magic Tree House? Well, it's a similar concept, except in this series, a teacher sends 4 of his students back in time to meet with historical figures. And in this one, obviously, they're going to meet Lincoln, but this is just one in a series. This is the one that I know for sure is going to be at your book fair, but you can also get ones even about Walt Disney. Wouldn't it be awesome to blast to the past to meet Walt Disney? I think so. If you love Magic Tree House, this is one you're going to definitely want to add to your wish list for the book fair. The next book, again, I don't have the physical book because people want it, because it is a brand new series by the guy who brought us Cam Jansen. You remember her, right? This one is called Danny's Doodles, and that's actually going to be the name of the series, and the first book is called The Jelly Bean Experiment. Now in this book there are 2 boys. There is Danny, like it says on the title. He's a kid who likes to play baseball, he likes to follow the rules, and then he gets paired for an experiment in class with this other boy named Calvin. Now Calvin, he doesn't like baseball. He likes doing weird things, and he doesn't like to follow the rules. He likes to drive his teachers crazy. What do you think is going to happen when the 2 of those kids pair up for the Jelly Bean Experiment? It's going to be fun. And obviously, I'm guessing it's going to have exploding jelly beans. That's just a guess, just a guess. You'll have to read to find out more. Read Danny's Doodles. Alright, this next one is for anyone who has wanted to read the Percy Jackson series, but been like, hello, those books are, boom, this thick. Well, guess what? There's a series just for you. It is called Heroes in Training. The first one is called Zeus and the Thunderbolt of Doom. And in this book, instead of having Percy Jackson characters, kids who have parents who are gods, the kids in this book are the gods. This boy right here is Zeus when he's just a kid. All the gods when they're kids, they had to fight someone else. Can you remember? Maybe you saw the movie from Percy Jackson? That's right, they had to fight the Titans. And in this book series, they go on all sorts of amazing ancient Greek adventures where it's gods versus Titans. This is first in a series. I know this one will be at your book fair, but you can always get more once you've liked that one. All right, the next book may sound a little girly, but that doesn't mean you're not going to like it, boys, so make sure you're still paying attention. This one is called The Never Girls. It's a series that has multiple books. The first one, In a Blink, is definitely going to be at your book fair. In this book, 4 girls, today girls, like maybe it could be the girl sitting right next to you, get pulled into Neverland with Tinkerbell and Peter Pan and the mermaids and even pirates. Now the girls like it there at first. They feel like lost girls instead of lost boys. But can normal people stay in Neverland? I don't think so. Let's see what happens while they're there and if they're able to manage to get home. That's it. Never Girls in a Blink. Now guys, that's just a few titles. Obviously I can't tell you about every single amazing book that's going to be there. But Mrs. Lieber and I, we went through Barnes & Noble and scanned all sorts of great titles. Things you're going to want to buy for yourself, things you're going to want to buy for your family, things you may want to even tell your teacher that they need to include in class. There's going to be all sorts of great stuff there. And I hope that at least a few of these titles will end up in your shopping bag. Thank you guys so much for letting me be part of Deer Valley Book Fair. Have a great day. Bye-bye.